So formally welcome everybody. Of course, you all know I'm Sandy Payne. Next to me is Emma. You hear me talk about her a lot of my social media creator. So I thought it'd be great for her to be with us too, because she's all things knowledgeable and really, 90% of the background of everything that you see that we do on social media. So I wanted to make sure she was here. So I think first what I wanted to talk about is kind of why I'm doing this. I indicated a little bit in my comment section, but we've really increased our social media game. We're posting a lot, 2 to 3 TikToks a day. We've got a lot being pushed out. And although a lot of people follow, I've started to notice people like, oh, I hate to bother you. I know you're busy. I see you're busy. And I thought, oh, I don't want that to be the message, out to my consumers and my community that I'm too busy to work for them. So I thought this would be great to kind of just jump on and collaborate to let everyone know kind of I'm not that busy to work with clients because I do delegate, and we do have some great systems in place that allow a lot of these things to happen not at live time. They're pre-recorded and bulked and things like that. So that's kind of where I wanted to take the conversation. Again, if you have any questions, I will keep the chat up. If anybody has specific questions, you can throw them in the chat as well, and we can make sure that we talk about those. So before I had Emma, I'm going to go back to where most of you probably are as solo agent. You're kind of in the sense that you're responsible for your own social media, your own time blocking. Is that pretty much where everybody is? Yes, I'm seeing lots of heads. If you're not on video, I'd love for you to be on video so I can see you. Unless you're inappropriate, then don't, please. Or driving or something distracting, of course. But yeah, because it's great for me to see some faces, especially if we ask questions, I can see everybody nodding. So most of you, like I asked, are probably responsible for running your own business, maybe your team leads, but you've got your own business, your own social media, your own clients, you're like juggling everything. And that was me. Even though as a team lead, I was bringing on agents, I still was trying to check all the blocks everywhere. And it just got exhausting. I got to the point I was having to choose, like, do I spend time prospecting? Do I spend time making video? Do I edit? And it really became known to me that this is a whole nother person. Like, to really keep all of that going, like, this is like a whole nother person. So I lucked into the opportunity to meet Emma. Just my daughter was at a wedding, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, they got chatting. She had just graduated from a local college with her social media degree. My mom's like, so Rebecca said, who's my daughter, said, oh my gosh, my mom could so use you. And so we got linked up, and she came in, and with her cute little, I can post 5 posts a week and the thing. And I'm like, cut to the chase. I want full time. So I locked out and snatched her up before she got out there to work with anybody else. But with that, we took time for her to learn what I do. She had no idea what real estate entailed, other than what most people do are saying, okay, oh yeah, you sell houses and put your sign in the yard and open doors, fun HGTV life. Little did she know that was like a fraction of what we actually do. And there's so much more. So we spent about 3 months just kind of her evaluating and just kind of start trying to get integrated, and me letting go and trusting that she was going to take my branding and social where I wanted it to go. So we spent a lot of time collaborating, and don't do it like this. I like it like this.
Good.
Please turn your cameras on. Oh, thank you. Whoever said that.
Jump on. It's
Susie, thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
And
I just
I'm gonna
jump on it. Okay, bye.
Okay, perfect. And so that kind of led us to really taking a big look. And I'll talk about social first, and there's other things that I do in my schedule that help me be able to manage it all. But I feel like this is kind of the topic of the struggle for most. And So what we wound up doing was we did have an opportunity to work with a social media professional and kind of audit all of our social media. And the biggest takeaway with that, after tears, we cried. We wanted to just delete everything and start over because we thought what we were putting out there was working. And when it wasn't working, you know, we were struggling. And so the biggest takeaway from the change was I was putting out in social what I thought looked pretty, what I thought was stylish, what I thought was trending. I was an interior designer before I get into real estate. So I was very big on, you know, tile selections and trending colors and all of these decorating home tips. But what I was actually doing is completely disengaging from my consumer. And if you're in the Tom Ferry group, you hear Jason, content is contribution. You should be speaking to your niche, speaking to your customer and your community. And so we had to take a real big humble pill. And my little DR Horton $200,000 homes, I'm like, how can I get my information out, but using a product that is relatable to my community and to my customers. And as we started making these changes, it was amazing. The engagement we started getting, the interest we started getting, because now we were relatable. Like we actually were relatable to our consumer.
And providing value with what we were posting.
Yes. And not just a Pinterest. I had like a really pretty like Instagram that looked like Pinterest, you know, and so that's Pinterest, but you know, what we were doing with the social media. So how does everybody feel about your social? Are you relating to where I was and where you might want to hope to learn something on a different direction? Anybody have any feedback?
Thanks for sharing that, because I think it's really interesting to find out that having a third party look at what you really are doing, because content is content. However, if it doesn't really capture the audience, I think that's the biggest takeaway for me as a person, because sometimes I always struggle for content, and having that consistency is, I think, the biggest struggle. And I understand that, you know, having a social media person to really take on and what you really are doing and be that collaborative partner. My curiosity basically is for what you shared, right? I need to find out, I mean, how much exactly kind of ballpark figure am I going to be looking at spending if I hire a social media person at this point? I mean, I think you locked on and having Emma right on your team. But for me, who is going to be looking out there and posting, how much am I looking at to pay? Because
so I mean, I think before you would even think to hire someone is you have to really own your content. You are realtors. You have so much in your head that you speak every day to your clients that a lot of people want to hear. So before just jumping in and hiring someone to do it for you, if that makes sense, I spent a lot of time figuring a lot of it out before I had her. It came to me to realize that I wanted to do so much more that I just didn't have the time to do it all, the editing and all these things. So that's what ultimately brought her in. As my idea pool was so huge, it was the execution that I just couldn't handle because it was too much, along with everything else that I had to do for my business and for my team and my life, you know? So I would say before you even think of hiring someone, really take a look at your content and what are you putting out? How often are you putting out? And we're kind of going to get into what ours looks like, but I was like literally right where you are all sitting. So I want to make sure we bridge that and not get you from where you are to where I am today, like overnight. There's a process and there's a lot of time that we spent months working on this and building what it is you see me producing today. And so that's what I want to make sure we close that gap, because if you're like me, I sit in these conferences and I hear do this, do this, do this, but like, what? Exactly what? Tell me exactly what I need to do. And that's what I'm hoping to accomplish today, is give you those missing pieces that are going to allow you to take those next steps to get those things done. So I love the question about what to look for, what to pay, but if we can table that a little bit, because not everybody's there. It's a whole nother salary, full-time employee. And it is an investment, but until I look at it this way, until my social media is returning clientele to afford having a full-time person, may not be your first step. And what I've learned is by building my social media, I have gotten over 30 agent to agent referrals this year alone. And when I asked them, how did you find me? They said, we love your social media. We found you on social media. We looked you up. We heard your name. We looked you up. We love your social media. So that to me is how I'm understanding and interpreting what I'm doing is having a return. You know, it may not be someone who calls you off of Facebook in a neighborhood and said, I saw you on Facebook, but I know it's getting out there and it's usable content, and it's sharing who I am and what we do enough that people are sending people my way. So until that financial return is very direct, like social media out, money in, then I think is where you would be ready to not be financially stressed over someone like her. So the first things we did, so show of hands or jump in. This is you all. You work all day, you're running around with clients, and then all of a sudden you're like, crap, I didn't post anything on social media today. Let me take a picture of my dinner or my cat, or dig something out of some old photo, like, or you forget entirely. How many of you are relating to that? Good. The hands.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of y'all, like Sandy just said, social media is overwhelming. I mean, we are in a digital era. Social media matters. I mean, if you don't have social media connected with your business, you are behind, and that's a scary thought. So I think one thing that helped us when we were trying to turn a corner as far as producing and increasing the volume of content going out every day, per week, per month, was setting down and constructing a plan.
Yeah.
And obviously we're doing it multiple times a day, every week, shooting out 250 videos a month, if not more. But I think looking at your lifestyle and looking what your days look like and sitting yourself down and making a commitment, whether that's every Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Thursday, just something, whether that's, posting about a local restaurant within your community, or, just sold, just listed, just making that commitment of being consistent, even if it's only 2 days a week, that will grow your page. I think too, something with us is like, it's all about taking that first step and starting. And like Sandy said, we're gonna jump into how to attack your niche and what pillars you use for your lifestyle and your business. But I definitely think constructing a plan and finding something that's going to help keep you organized, like a calendar.
I'm gonna show you what our plan. This is so old school. So I'm showing my age. literally, we got together, and this is kind of where this came from. We got to get, do you use your given name or your business name? Great question, Dina. Give me just a minute and we'll talk about that, because that is definitely part of our audit.
Yeah.
Deciding which way to go. So we sat down, and we can share this. I'm all down to literally photographing these pages and sharing them. If you really want an idea.
Yes. She loves that.
Yes. Okay. Because even though they're my topics, you're going to do them your own way, right? That's it. Sometimes it's just the ideas. I don't even know what to talk about. Like Maria said, where do you get the content? So what we decided to do, and you can do this on your own. You don't need an Emma to do this. You get a $4 calendar at Walmart, and you sit down and you say, okay, just like you block time to make your follow-up calls, to do your lead generation, to do all the things, this has to be put into your calendar just like everything else you do in your business. It's that important.
Like an appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You block it. It's a non-negotiable. I'm working on this. So what we did is we said, okay, what are the things first that I was already doing? Right. So what are the things you're most comfortable with? Work on that first. So if you're comfortable with the idea of, I don't know, if you're like a big investment property, if that's your thing and that's your everyday and that's where most of your business happens, start there. Get out a sheet of paper and say, okay, how many times a week am I going to make a video or a post about investment properties? So we call that bucket number one. Bucket number one, investment properties.
Pillars, buckets.
Pillars, buckets. I just think of putting all, we had the little ideas on little pieces of paper and almost you're putting them in the bucket. That's why I like to call it buckets. And then I said, okay, we know a lot about this topic and we'll use investment properties as we move forward. That's not my thing, but we'll just use that. And you said, okay, what are things I know about investment properties? And we literally had a piece of paper numbered. If you're going to put one out a week, you need 52 lines for 52 weeks. And then you just start brain dumping. I can talk about 1031 exchange. I can talk about insurance. I can talk about return on investment, cap rates, right? And you just let your brain just dump all the little pieces that you have about that topic. That becomes your first bucket. Okay, so then you say, okay, what else do I know? What else do I want to talk about? We do a lot with military. So we're like, okay, how does that purchase or sale look different for a military family than other families? Okay, we're going to have a military move bucket. These are the things, and we're going to do it every week or every other week. And we list it. We literally were in a hotel room for 3 days, uninterrupted, with sheets of paper, sticky notes all over the place. We just locked ourselves down and made it happen.
Literally didn't go anywhere.
Literally. Ordered in food. We did go to the gym. That's all we went out to do. Because if we didn't sit down and create that time, we wouldn't have this amazing calendar that we don't even have to think anymore what we're going to post about, because we already figured that out, which I think is the first hurdle, because we get so wrapped up with all the things and the squirrels and the new clients and running here and got a showing, got a listing, got to do the next, all the real estate stuff, the money producing pieces, that this is something that you typically just blow off. But when we realized there's a lot of money in that, there's a lot of money sitting in my social media plan, that it became as important to execute it as it does everything else and to create that time block for it. So we wound up with about 6 buckets. We had highlighters and sticky notes of all colors that coordinated. We got a little crafty because that was our way of we're keeping it organized. And when we had taped all over all the lists of topics, now some of them were just once a month, right? Maybe you do a monthly market update of your little community. It was only once, but you put it, these are the dates I'm going to post them for day one, calendar day one of every month, market update of these updates. And so we would have 12 of those with the dates. And we literally took those lists when we were done of all the different buckets and said, that's it. We're not adding any more to 2022. No more buckets. Any other ideas, harebrains, they're going to go on a list for possible additions next year. Because once you start rolling with this, your brain's going to start coming up with all these, I have an idea, let's do this. And then there's never going to be that discipline and that cohesion. And then you're right back to where you started with all these unexecuted ideas. So we're just sorry, but we have to table that. We just have to table it. We're already doing enough. We're committed this year, and that's that. So once we had all the buckets and we had all the lists of our 24 or 52 topics, we literally got out the calendar and said, okay, Mondays, what are we dropping on Monday? Every Monday. And we just kind of scattered them, so that we had 2 to 3 things going out in our social media every day. We just said, okay, we already have that on a Monday, so let's do this one on a Tuesday. Let's put this one over here on Thursday. And we just placed them literally on the calendar, and we wrote the topic. So it wasn't just military move. It was, what is the actual topic we're going to talk about? Does that make sense? Anybody have any questions on that? I know that's a lot, but I think that
I do, Sandy.
Mhm.
The question for you would be, if you have to come up with the top 3 content that a realtor would make an impact. Like, it's not just about, what you can do for your client, but what are the other topics that you would do? I mean, would you do like a business, plugging a business or a spotlight of a business or something like that?
So I
If
can
I
tell you
even
ours. I
write,
can tell you our
what would
buckets.
those
I can tell you what they are. We have like the original sheets that we wrote all over.
Oh yeah, they're in a folder. I have to go.
Okay, I can tell you what they are because they're right here. This is the great thing about this. I don't even have to think about it. Okay, so one day we do, on Sundays, we drop a blog, and the blog is about, like, one of them is 5 tips for quality recording on an iPhone, steps to creating social media calendar, how to hire a home inspector. Like, these are all just things we know. So you'll see, we just have these orange, all the oranges are about the blog. Then we have marketing minutes. So that's going to be our monthly marketing update. And you can do that either, we have like 5 cities that are all really close. So instead of doing all 5 on one, we have, like, on the first Monday, we do Harker Heights. On the second Monday, we do Killeen. On the third Monday, we do the Coppers Cove. On the fourth Monday, we do Belton and Temple because they're really close together. And then if there's a 5th, then you just let it go. And then you just do 1, 2, 3, your weeks again. We also have Sit Down with Sandy. That's kind of my fun little, realtor spiel about some topic. It's a little bit, we'll get into long form, short form after this, but I'm just going to go down my topics. We have a topic called Hey Sandy. That's very Vogue, like literal Vogue magazine. That's very trending for them to ask celebrities. They just stop and say, hey, and they ask them a impromptu question. I don't know those questions. Emma has those questions. She literally stops me in the middle of the day and it's just like, hey, Sandy. I'm like, hey. And then she asks me something random and I have to kind of answer. A lot of them are a little more personal questions. We have our passport to the 254, which I'm sure you've all seen my passport. So that is where we do our local spotlight. We take them right out of that passport that we've created and we do a local spotlight. I'll get into when we do all this because right now you're getting like, oh my gosh, you have to do this every day. No, we don't do that. This is our posting schedule. This is not when we're actually creating the content. This is just how we're posting. We also have what else?
Podcasts.
Yep, podcasts. I have a new podcast called the PCS Project. It's all around military moving and PCSing. So we have a release of a podcast. So a lot of the recordings happen another day, but we know when it's going to actually hit the market. We have client testimony day, where you have a review or a video of a client testimony. We have, what's our other topics?
Neighborhood drive-by.
And then I do, that's one, we have one, we do neighborhood drive-by. So that's when I'm literally in my car, if you've seen those, and I literally drive around the neighborhood and just talk about all of the, okay, we also have trending reels and TikToks.
So
you want to talk about that just a little briefly?
So for that, again, we're not trying to overwhelm y'all. Me and Sandy
these are the buckets that we created in the hotel.
And we did plan this for a year, but you have to think too, like, yes, we know the topics and everything, but it's an outline. So if you're wanting to just start from a month out, do that. Like, just do what you're comfortable with. But another thing that is on our list and that is very, very, very vital on your page is Reels and TikToks. You need to, if you are on any platform, you need to be on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. That is huge. I mean, Facebook has Reels now, Instagram has Reels now. They're cross-platforming to both platforms. And then you have TikTok, which we'll get into more of, like, kind of what we post on each platform, because it does vary. TikTok has a different vibe per se, a different atmosphere than Instagram Reels, but that is definitely something you need to make as one of your buckets, whether that's showing a local area or finding out something new, about your client's story or how it went, or just anything, just something that you can share that provides value to your audience.
And those are typically like trending sounds like that's pretty like today. Like I can't really plan what the trending sound is or trending anything, you know, months out from now. So those are a little bit, we know that they're posting, but the topic is a little bit more of a shorter window of planning. So this is how our week looks. So Wednesday, we committed, we have our media Wednesday. I do nothing else. Nothing else. It is my day off. I don't see clients. I don't make phone calls. I don't do follow-ups. If I don't have to answer the phone, I don't, unless I know it's like a transaction emergency that my TC can't handle. Usually if they're by that point, I know she's passed them on to me. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. every Wednesday with Emma. That's it. Changes the clothes, changes the earrings, lipstick changes, whatever I need. And we film on that Wednesday, the next 2 weeks out, week of content.
Yeah. So we batch content in one day, and then obviously if you don't have a me, you'd be doing it, but it would be on a smaller scale, but basically going in, editing everything and sitting down, and again, making that commitment to, I'm going to finalize this post. We have a question.
Yeah. I'm going to get those in just a second. I've got a couple questions.
Okay. So anyway, it's a lot, but again, if you just sit down and commit 1 hour,
just start with one bucket. Just start with one.
Yeah.
And get that in your schedule and get that flow, even if it's your Wednesday walkthroughs. I mean, my brain explodes with ideas.
Yeah.
Wednesday walkthrough. You just go walk through a cool property or a property that went on the market, and you just walk through it. Wednesday walkthroughs. If that's all you do, get that down to it's part of your schedule and it's part of your routine before you add the next bucket.
Because you can literally take a walkthrough video, for instance, and use it 5 different ways. Like that is content equals contribution. Just because you sit here and film one video doesn't mean, oh, it's only good for one platform. Post it on everything. I mean, that, like today, for instance, when we film TikToks and Reels, which we'll get into the ideas part, if you just have a video with the same concept, but with like a different caption, you can use that one topic, just one single topic, in 10 different ways, depending on, you know, if you can come up with those captions and, you know, the funny lines that you see on TikTok. It's just about what you're comfortable with and letting your creative ideas flow. But
okay, so great question from Shaylee. I don't know if I'm Oops, you're muted.
Chalet.
Thank you. Where do you get ideas for Reels and TikToks? Being in the platform, spending time, and that's part of her job that she gets paid to do, is actually be on TikTok, watch Reels, find those things that we can relate to, or find the trending sounds, or copy from other realtors. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I'm going to do that. And then you just hit your save button, and we compile like all of the things, like I watch and she watches, and we send them back and forth to each other. And then that's what we film.
And another tip on that is, if you just sit down and take 10 minutes to scroll through TikTok and you've heard the same sound 4 times, you save that sound. Also, another way to know that something is trending on Instagram through Reels, there is an arrow at the bottom left of your screen.
Let me see if I can find it.
If it's pointing up, that means it is trending. Like, you want to use that sound through a walkthrough, or if you're sharing like a tip. Yeah, if you can show them.
Oh boy, I don't think that's gonna work. So right here,
Maybe I can.
where the sound is, if you open your Instagram and go to Reels, if everybody does that, it'll be easier.
Like,
probably.
for instance, I guess I have one.
Yeah, it's just hard because it's glary.
It won't.
There's a little
focus.
arrow right there by the because
Well,
we're trying to get in.
So if you go on Reels and you look at the top bottom corner to the left, it's gonna say the sound name, and right next to it, if there's an arrow pointing this way, use that sound. Like that's trending.
Yes.
Instagram's gonna automatically push your content because you're using the trending features. So that is something that's helpful. You don't just want to use a random sound. You want to be intentional with all of the content you're creating.
Yeah, versus a sound that just has like a little musical note. That's just somebody picked a random song to put to their,
or it's no longer trending.
Yeah. Okay, question. Do you do all your filming and posting on Wednesday? Yeah, that's just our Wednesday is just the filming, the photos, the driving around, the go to the restaurant that we're going to feature. Like that's literally all we do is just content capture. I'll call it that. Content capture. Then for the next 2 weeks, that's the content that Emma's working on that you're not going to see on our social media for 2 weeks. So we're like filming and posting like almost a 2-week delay.
But for TikTok and Reels, it is a bit different. I do it by week. So if we are filming Wednesday, I look Monday because I know that sound's gonna be trending in 3 days.
Yeah,
still.
and those are all posted that week. The Reels and TikToks, like that's it. That's that whole week. Then we have a whole new batch of trending
content
things, whatever we come up with, and then that goes.
We did get one question saying, if you're starting with one, would it be Instagram?
Yes.
So yes. For instance, I think it really depends upon your business and your audience. I've seen pages grow from thousands to hundreds of thousands on TikTok, and same thing with Instagram. They both are great platforms. So ultimately, I feel like if you are starting a business presence, get on Instagram and eventually kind of feed in TikTok because they will correlate. And when you connect with people, they'll connect with you on other platforms as well. And then back up at the top about the business name. Yes.
So part of our audit, because Dina asked, do we use our like Sandy Payne? Obviously. Yes, because that's how you all know me. That's how you know me. You don't know me by Design to Sell Real Estate Group. You might eventually understand that that's the name of my team. But when you are actually following someone, they're following me. Like you all follow me. You don't follow my team or my business. You actually follow me as a person. You can have a team, like we have a team Instagram. And
we source content on there.
Real estate goes on there. Yeah. All my agents, if it's real estate related, it's kind of the real estate dump for everybody. But we all have our own personal accounts that have not just real estate, but your food, your cat, your yacht, your golf, like all about you. Like it's really a journal.
To your life. I mean,
of your life. And that's why when you all like, I talk to some people like, oh my gosh, your gray cat is and they know his name, Indy. I'm like, what? They watch me on social media. But these are all the little pieces that your audience is going to connect with you. We've all had that friend that gets into a MLM business. I won't name any of them. And no longer do you know anything about them. All you see is their business all day, everything they post, that's all they do. And we like unfollow because we don't even know them anymore because that's all they post. So if you balance your life, your business, and just you as a person, your attraction will be people who are attracted to you. So trying not to put out content that's like covering the masses for everyone, just be you. Speak you, dance like you, look like you, and people who are drawn to you are going to be drawn to you. And that's where your best consumers are going to come from because they're relatable and they feel like they're your friend. Like I literally, if people are like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm your friend, I'm like, I don't even know you. But they do, like you just have to and of course, don't be super personal things you don't want to share, with the world.
And I think too, like, Sandy is Sandy and you are you. So you have to find a balance of what the comfortability of what you're sharing. And again, the biggest thing is knowing who follows you, knowing your audience. Right. Because if what you're posting is not doing well, then obviously it's not wrong, valuable to the consumer. So yeah, you may have to do trial and error. And we have had to adjust some things in our calendar because yes, we are planning a year out, and what might be trending today might not be trending a month from now. And we have made the flexibility to adapt quickly because, some of our buckets are kind of generic that we can still stay to our niche if we need to change some of those topics, if that makes sense.
So does anybody have questions? For
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason, I'm researching.
I do have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Since you guys are already talking about engagement, I always hear this, and I honestly, I don't understand how to tackle this, right?
Mhm.
So they always say, hey, engage with the people in your niche, right?
Yeah.
So what would be the best way to do that and engage with them so that you could have a lot more engagement and following
Okay.
and what have you?
So
What
I'm
do they
gonna
mean by that?
I'm gonna turn the question. I feel like we need to do like a workshop. Like,
Yeah.
we really need to do like an actual physical workshop.
I also have something to add with that.
So I'm gonna turn the question to you. What market are you in?
So I'm in the San Antonio market.
Oh, San Antonio. You're just up the road. Okay. Who is your client? I want to just.
So I have my niche defined and all that. So I have my specific avatar.
Right. So
and
let's
I-
do that as an exercise so that everybody can kind of see and apply their own thoughts to the answers to the question. So sorry, Maria, you're on the hot seat, girl. You're
No
in San
problem.
Antonio. Okay. Tell me who those avatars are. Who are your people?
So my avatar basically is a family of 4, and the age is about 30 and 35 years old, husband and wife. They have 2 kids. They have a dog. That's pretty much kind of like the specifics that I do have. They own a current home right now, and they're looking up moving up because their family is growing.
Okay.
So they make at least $150,000 and over on a combined income. That's kind of what my niche is, basically.
So if you were to take all your people, this is kind of like the median person. This is about.
Correct.
Maybe they have 2 kids, maybe they have 1 kid, 3 dogs,
Mhm.
a cat. But in general, this is your these are your people.
Correct.
Okay. You talked about moving up, right? So there is a topic right there.
Right.
What is that?
And so
like?
the way I
Mhm.
do my social media, or some of the postings that I have been doing, is kind of geared towards my niche. And
So one
so-
bucket, I'm going to interrupt you. So one bucket, because I'm looking you up on social media right now. So I'm going to hold you to it. So your bucket number 1 is moving up.
Mhm.
So I want you
Correct.
to make a list. I want you to make
Okay.
a list of all the things you know about a move up buyer. What are the things? Now remember, people can digest just like we can digest in tiny bits.
Yes.
Mhm.
So don't try to make some 10-minute video about all the things moving up. We're looking for snackable,
Yeah.
remembering, think little nuggets, right? Let's look at chicken nuggets, not the whole McChicken.
Got her.
That's a joke
Understood.
in our office, by the way.
This is her.
Okay. Cute. Okay.
Cute. I
Yes.
like the blue. The
Good
blue
color.
is cute.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
your first bucket moving up. What I
Yes.
want you to do is, how many things can you think of that you know right off the top of your head, topics about moving up? Is it 24? Is it 52? Like, could you do one video about something to do with moving up every
Mhm.
week on Thursday at 5 o'clock?
I like these 2.
Like, there is your structure
Mhm.
and your template for bucket 1. That is the start of your social media plan. And then you put it on your calendar, you time block it, it repeats every week. And then you go in and you write moving up video, colon, whatever that topic is that you just wrote down. And you do not schedule, that's when that's when you're going to drop that topic. Then you have to turn around and you say, okay, what do I want this to look like? What do I want this? Is it a static post that's just a picture with words? Is it a carousel where I have maybe the topic, and then as people scroll, I'm giving them bits of information? Is it a video?
Real.
Is it a video that you're putting like an actual, you're sitting down and you're actually like speaking this topic?
Mhm.
Is it just a fun little reel where you're like, move up buyers, tip number 1, tip number 2? You're not even saying anything, you're just doing this little fun little point thing. So with one topic, I just gave you 5 ways to even put that topic out.
Got it.
So don't get overwhelmed with how many buckets, maybe 2 or 3. So you've got a complete content creation on moving up. So that give me one topic, like just one easy tagline topic on moving up.
So things you need to know when you are looking to sell your house.
Okay, how about 3 things? Because there's a lot.
Okay.
Top 3. Top
Top
3 to
Top 3.
sell
Okay.
if you're a move-up buyer. If you're a
Mhm.
move-up buyer, because we're gonna stay on the topic of move-up.
Right.
Okay, so my recommendation is you do one reel. So 3 things. Top tips for move-up buyer. Boom, boom, boom. We've all seen those, right?
Yep.
We've all seen those little pointy things. You have 1 reel. You also do 1 TikTok on that same topic. Then you're gonna do a moving up minute with Maria. And you're gonna set up your camera and you're gonna sit on a couch or sit on a stool or sit at your desk and you're gonna talk about it for 1 minute. So now we're not listing, we're still giving 3 tips. But this is the first tip, and this is what I mean about this tip. Let me tell you an example. Let me give you something a little bit meatier rather than just a bullet point. Okay.
So when you do the talking, right? This is more of like outlining exactly what you just pointed on reels and stuff. So this is just more expanding the same topic.
You're taking that one topic, yeah, and you're gonna actually use that topic, that one topic in that one bucket across all of these social media pieces in the way that that platform likes content.
Correct.
Okay, you can even make one, we call it a static post, just a picture, like it's not a video, with 3 carousel posts on each one of those 3 things. So we're taking one topic, which we all have, and we're just busting it out and putting it in all of the different places, all of the different ways. Does that make sense? And so that was just one topic. So if this is something you're going to do every week, you've got 5 posts on that topic to put across your social media platforms every week. So you see how fast the number of posts can actually start. Now you have another bucket on something else. Maybe it's all things San Antonio, right? San Antonio attractions. Okay, I'm just going to use San Antonio attractions as an idea. Same thing, you get your paper out and you list what are the most popular things to do in San Antonio. Alamo, Riverwalk, the Pearl, right? You go down your list, then you take the Alamo and then you say, okay, I'm going to do 1 reel, 1 TikTok, 1 minute talk with Maria about that topic. And we're going to do a static post with whatever, and then maybe you even go there and take some video and make your reel that way or something like that, right? But you can see now you've got 10 posts that week, 5 about move up, 5 about San Antonio attractions, and then you have 1 other bucket. So if you just did that, you could make 3 posts a day on 3 different top subject matters across all of your platforms.
Perfect.
I hope that helps because that sounds.
Yes, it did.
That was pretty clear.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Clearest I've ever explained that.
Yeah, that was really good. I also think too, a lot of people get caught up in, there is a question about, for some reason, my personal page only allows me 15-second reels. Okay, so your account that you have, whether you're personal, business, or creator, it matters. It matters. And I'll just tell the difference of that. If you are a business, you need to get off the personal account. You are either wanting to be a creator or a business. And really the main difference is this. For a creator, you have more variety for trending sounds or video. Now, for a business, you don't get all of those trending sounds, but you get more call to action buttons, again, for people to make appointments. And that's kind of really good for like restaurants. I know some real estate companies use that as well, because we are posting Sandy's business and lifestyle and all of her need to know real estate advice and tips and tricks. I have her set up on a creator account because she does better on there. We're able to access all of the trending sounds. We're able to kind of, and I will say I do post like manually because that is not supported on a third-party platform. Whether if you have a business account, yeah, that is a whole another thing. That's more social media talk. But I definitely think changing that will help you have a more variety of
Mhm.
whether you want to do 15 seconds or 60 seconds. That does matter. So I definitely think switching that would help you have more of a variety.
So can you
Will it
swap?
impact your business account? Let's say, will it impact if you change from business to creator?
No, we've gone back and forth whenever we went through the 3 months of kind of revamping and
We tested.
yeah. And it just was easier for what we were creating for her to be a creator account. Now, it may be for you to be a business account. If you're running a social media page for several agents, a business account may be best. It's really just depending on what you're posting. Instagram and TikTok, they are competitors, right? So we're about to see video content significantly increase. So applying the best video content quality is going to be your top priority, even starting out, whether that's, again, we kind of like ran through some examples, but really just utilizing all of the features in all the platforms is going to automatically push your content up.
Yeah, so you can see like when you go into Instagram, you have like your grid, the first right above your little pictures here. Then you have the Reels tab, then you have the video tab. Like there's a reason they kind of want you to use all of those. And the more you use their platform, like the more you use your CRM, the more you use the product, the way it wants you to use it, the better recognition that they're going to have that you're mastering the platform.
And when you're, oh yeah, yes.
Sorry. So what you mean is it's better to have, when you say creator, it's like a personal Instagram instead of a business, right?
Yes.
Well, Creator was set up
Mhm.
originally to help influencers. Now, Sandy is a realtor, but because the business account on Instagram kind of limits your access to trending sounds and audio, that was something that was affecting our growth. So we switched over to Creator because of what we were posting at the volume we were posting for Reels. We kind of needed to be in that niche of, hey, we're on this trending sound, we're on this, trending video that everyone's doing kind of thing. So it really just depends. But I definitely think if you're anything, be a creator, be a business account, but don't be personal if you're trying to run your realtor page.
Okay, because I have a business Instagram.
Okay, and that may be what works best for you, and you may kind of have to experiment. And again, either account, whether you're a business or creator, you're able to see your insights. You're able to see how many people save your post, how many people share it, like
your
it,
reach, impressions.
Yeah.
You're able to get some
what
analytics.
time of day is the best time to post. And that right there is, once you get in a flow of consistency, when, hey, say you're posting every Monday and Thursday, right? You want to post at the times that do best. And again, you're gonna have to experiment. Maybe you start at 6:30 p.m. when everyone's kind of at home, getting ready for dinner. Everyone's kind of on their phone during that time, depending on your demographic, depending on your area. That's just an example. But I would go in and utilize your insights. It will help you show what your consumers are really liking and what they're not really responding to. Because I'll say this, engagement matters. Like, someone could have 10K followers, but if their engagement level is way down, that's not good news. They're eventually going to lose following. So
yeah. So on that note, like, I know everyone's like, oh, I want 10,000 followers. I just want 10 people who freaking love me and want to work with me and want to be part of my world. Like, it's a ratio thing. Like, I may only have 2,150 followers, but as long as they're all like really want to follow me and like we really want a connection, we really want to be social with one another, like, that's fine. Like, 10,000 followers means there's a lot of people that I gotta like keep up with. I'd rather have like my close niche friends and my group, my niche, my people, my tribe, and that's that, and I know, and I can tell by the ratio of when we post something and how many views it gets compared to how many followers I have, or how many comments I get compared to how many they're the numbers that I want to see, that percentage. I can have a great post, but if only one person like gives me a thumbs up. Well, to me, I didn't really do anything to encourage
Or provide value.
a social interaction. Like if that's how we think of social media, it's like, I want to be socially interactive with you through my device, through my platforms. So when people send a thumbs up, I'm like, what's with the thumbs up? Tell me more. Why did you give me a thumbs up? Right? Getting a conversation, a social interaction is really the point. So don't be overloaded with how much to post or how many followers you have. It's more about just being consistent, being there, being that person that like, hey, every time I get on my phone, like I see another video that you do, like, yeah, that's right. Like, because you want to get into that flow where you become this little like top of mind, right? We all hear top of mind. That's what this is doing. It's creating that like every time I get on my phone, they're standing
And like
with another little nugget of something. So when they need me, I'm here for them because they feel like they can get to me all the time because I'm right there with them.
Like we've seen it with Tom Ferry, obviously, like Monday mindset. Every single Monday, he has a video and they are fun to watch. Like, but don't think you need that good of a quality of video to post it. You just have to
Your phone.
start. You just need
You need nothing else.
and you
than your
just
phone.
need a few ideas. And then once you start, those creative ideas will just start becoming second nature. Don't overwhelm yourself or you will not stick to it. I think that's the biggest thing, getting on that plan that we were talking about.
So listen, we could talk all day. I feel like I want to leave the last 5 minutes for some last questions. I am putting my email address. Of course, most of you follow me, so you can DM me, whatever. But I want to make sure that I get you pictures of my calendar and our topics. Even if you can just use them for inspiration, copy them. I don't care. I'm giving them to you. Do what you want with them. I hope it helps you grow. And but if you have more questions, please reach out to us. Like that's just part of who I am, is the sharing piece. I love to, like, if it's working for me, I want it to work for everybody because it's just going to make us all so much better. To a fault, maybe to a fault sometimes, but that's okay. But if you have something you'd like to see, or if you feel like another one of these, but like, hey, we're going to literally do like a workshop, like we're going to make things happen more than just talking like this. Let me know, like I'm all down to help. Yeah. Okay, so there's my email, but you all know you can find me on social as well. Last 5 minutes, because I want to just keep this in the respectable hour. Any last minute questions that you feel like, what's stopping you from getting off of this and starting a little bit of execution on some of these buckets and these lists? What can I help you with right now? Can you come over to my office? Can you and Emma come and do this for us? I'm sure.
If the music on Instagram is trending, will it air next to it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we'll get you pictures of the calendar. Absolutely. This is recorded. I am going to share the link back into the same avenues that I've shared it in the first place. So you can watch from the link and rewatch. Any other questions that we can help you with in the last few minutes?
No questions, but I do have a request.
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys are getting ready for next year, would you invite me over and let's do the content together?
Yes.
Take a trip to
That'd
San
be
Antonio.
amazing.
That's a fun
Well,
place.
like seriously, like this is the stuff I'm totally down for, because I feel like we get so hung up on just the overwhelming of it, but it's that execution. Like it's the sitting in the hotel for hours, like for days, like literally making, like we walked out with this beautiful calendar, like under our arm, like we got it. Like we did what we came to do. And it takes the pressure. Like we have no pressure.
And we're able to have time to be even more creative. Like, although again, we're going at a very high volume. I'm a very, very busy girl.
Right.
It's like,
but you don't have to start there.
No, it's like now, like, oh, like this is trending. Let's just do this real fast. And I'll be like, Sandy, I need a minute of your time. And, take that, like make a note in your day. Like I'm going to take 30 minutes and I'm going to do this today.
Yeah.
But it's been a joy talking to you guys, and
Yes.
I'm excited I got to
Hope we
come on.
helped. Hope we
this.
gave you something to take away and actually start to apply. Anybody want to share your best takeaway, your top takeaway? I know that's a Tom thing, but like, what's your one thing that you're going to commit yourself to do just from being with us in an hour? Like, I'd love to hear, like, I want to hold somebody accountable. All of you. I want to hold you all accountable.
I just texted my husband and asked him if he could bring me home a desktop calendar.
Oh,
Wonderful. Wonderful. Anybody else? What's your commitment to yourself? The first thing you're going to do on this once you get off. How about
I have an assistant who has been helping me with social media now. And I need to sit down with him and have this conversation because he's a VA. So he's getting better based on my training, but there's a lot lacking.
well, I'm
and,
going to be
you know-
sharing the link to this. So please share that with him
Okay.
and let him watch this hour. And hopefully that'll maybe get you on the same page to start moving forward.
Okay. Thank you so much for doing this.
You're welcome. Anything else? Any other? I want to hear what I'm
Oh,
holding
thanks,
people
Daisy.
accountable.
Started the buyer avatar list and seller avatar list. So I have those all in different buckets, exactly what it's going to look like. And we're going to start the video list right now.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that. And does everybody follow me on Instagram?
Yeah, I was
Because I
gonna
want to
say,
follow you
tag.
back because I'm going to nag
Yeah.
you. But where are your people?
Just followed you.
Okay, so if
Okay,
you don't,
we'll
I'm
get
just,
on there.
yes, yeah, here, I'll put that in there. That's me on Instagram and TikTok both. So you can, we'll get into that. I do different things on both one, but don't worry about it. Do videos constantly. Or at least for a big chunk of time. Like don't feel like you have to do it every day. Like set aside Monday morning, have your plan. We're going to record all these things on Monday morning. I literally I have a hook in my office. I bring in clothes. I bring in jewelry. I change. We do a couple videos. I change. We do a couple more. I change. It's like the whole pattern throughout the day. Then I'm done. Like I'm done on Wednesday. I can do everything else in my business with my team, with my clients on every other day of the week, except Wednesday. So it doesn't, the day is very full. Don't get me wrong. It's very full, but it allows me to focus, get it all done. And then, so
Then
obviously
work
you
the
don't have an Emma. So pick a time, Monday morning, create the content, and maybe an hour on Tuesday, you're going to work on it and figure out when you're going to post it, and maybe another hour on Thursday.
Just like write it down.
Put it on your
What does
calendar.
Tom say? Whenever he says like write it down.
If it's not
you are
on your
more
calendar,
likely to do it.
It doesn't
Write it down.
exist. Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna say. If we can do it, you can do it. You can do anything. Just
Yes.
start somewhere. One video a week, just something. One post a week, something. If you're a local lover and you love all the restaurants and you love the coffee and you love the bagels, get in there. Take a picture of that. You know.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye,
But yeah.
Susan.
Thank you, ladies. I
Okay,
appreciate it.
Thank y'all
you.
so much.
Talk to y'all soon. Thanks for joining.